All right, welcome in, guys, for another episode of What's New Wednesday. It's January 31st, the very end of the month, and a lot has happened in big time. So let's jump right into it, guys. So the token price had a rally, but was rejected this past week. There was several crafting events that have been released this week, including the leaderboard-long season challenges and midweek madness. And there's been a crisis in the open loot secondary market and big time this week, which was pretty hectic for sure. So we'll talk about that. Lastly, there's something I didn't expect to see, a sneak peek of a Valentine's Day. Something to do with Valentine's Day is coming up, so we'll take a look at what they've put out about that. Big time token price, like we do every week. Last week we were feeling pretty bullish. We were hoping to see a rally that broke above 40 cents and touched 50. You know, this could have been, I was hoping, a rally that really sort of had a lot more buy pressure, but we were thoroughly rejected from the 40-cent resistance point right here pretty much twice, I think, this last week. Kind of like, well, once, really, 2 times in a row. Tried to go over the 40-cent resistance line, were rejected, and we've seen ourselves retrace all the way back down to the 30-cent support line around here. How long are we going to crab along in this range before we see a breakout going upwards or downwards? I'm not sure. The more times it gets rejected from this 40-cent resistance line, the more sort of bearish I get. I want to see it break above this 40 cent and stay like above 41, 42 cents for at least a couple daily candles, but we haven't seen that yet. It's down at the bottom of its range, so we'll just have to see about that. I was hoping to see a good bunch of buy pressure coming from this new leaderboard, and we haven't seen it yet. If it's ever going to happen, we'll just have to wait and see. If we do see some buy pressure happen from the leaderboard, might still have to wait to see, like, there might be a certain crafting event that comes up. Until then, we'll just have to be patient. If we look at the MACD on the daily, we can see last week it was in the red, moving into the green, and it did move into the green a bit with the buy pressure there, but once again, not enough buy pressure to really do anything like exciting. When you look at the moving average, it crossed the orange line last week like I was hoping to see it do, but just like no buy pressure. There's not enough going on here, so we'll probably see it skip around for the next 3 or 4 days at least. We'll probably see the token price skip around 30 to 35 cents for the next week or so, at least the next 3 days. And then if we look at the daily RSI, we can see like it's in the middle of its range here, which typically means it's like a wait and see kind of thing. I wouldn't do anything too decisive while it's here. We see it go up above this 70% sort of area. It might be a good time to take profits. If you bought down here, it might go up to here and you can sell. Who knows? Not financial advice, but if it goes down below this range, then, you know, might be looking at another good entry point. But that's the token price today, guys. We'll just have to wait and see. There are a few crafting events that could definitely bump up the token price we've seen in the past, one of which was the Christmas crafting event, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but there's something going on for Valentines. Could be kind of similar, so we'll have to see. All right, so that's the token price. Crafting event, let's take a look at them. There's been a lot going on in big time. So last week we had the first weekly challenge drop, and there was the crafting blitz event that happened. This week a lot more has happened on the crafting side. First of all, on the 26th they announced the leaderboard-long seasonal crafting challenges. There are a lot of them, not necessarily crafting, the challenges for this leaderboard. They call them the round challenges. So we're gonna rapid fire through these. There's a lot here that will help you get more leaderboard points. So first off, open 5 mystery boxes. That gives you 7,500 leaderboard points. So if you are one of the people who has been hanging out in the streams and trying to win those lucky draw mystery boxes, that is gonna really help you out here. It's a great way to earn 7,500 leaderboard points. The next thing on the list is buy 10 items of rare or higher on the secondary market. This will give you 10,000 points. I'm thinking about maybe picking up some furniture. My metaverse is barren, so I could use some furniture. Now that gives you 10,000 leaderboard points. Next thing is complete 50 prestige portals. If you are a prestige grinder, this won't seem too daunting for you. You know, we have until March 22nd to complete this, so that'll give you 5,000 leaderboard points. Nice little bump. Next, we have complete 35 daily bounties. This will also give you 5,000 leaderboard points. If you are a daily grinder of any kind, this will be quite easy as long as you remember to actually go to the bounty boards and collect your daily bounties. I'm not sure if weekly bounties count in this, but even if they don't, you know, you get 3 daily bounties a day. Pretty easy to accomplish. Next thing is loot 5 NFT collectibles in the game. That will give you 5,000 leaderboard points. I've already looted one. It's totally possible. If you're a daily grinder, you could probably see this accomplished. Not everybody will. The next thing we got here is complete the following hourglass recharges: 5 short recharges, medium recharges, and long recharges. The reward here is 8,000 leaderboard points. I freaking did 5 long recharges in between the leaderboards, so that's cool. This one's a bit of a pricey one. If you want to do 5 long recharges, that's $250, right? And then the 5 mediums, that's also a good chunk of change. So this one's going to be a little bit tough to accomplish, but if you are a daily grinder and you already need your hourglasses recharged for those prestige portals, then this won't be too terrible. You can accomplish this in a couple of months. Next, we have complete the following hourglass crafts: 3 common, uncommon, and rare hourglasses. This one will net you 15,000 leaderboard points. I'm almost already done this one. Not gonna lie, guys. This is pretty easy if you have enough time wardens. If you don't have enough time wardens, this might be a bit of a challenge, especially because not everybody even has rare, but you know, you got to pick what you can accomplish and what you can't do. Next up is apply a golden bonus roll 7 times when crafting hourglasses. This one's pretty tricky because it takes 20 mod chips to do a roll on an hourglass, let alone if you want to like lock in one of your rolls and roll some more. So this one gives you 10,000 leaderboard points. I've got 1 golden bonus roll, but this one's gonna be pretty tricky for some people to accomplish, especially because mod chips are always in short supply if you're crafting all the time. And I mean, nobody wants to pay the outrageous prices to buy mod chips, right? So a lot of grinding would need to happen to be able to really make these ones happen. The next one is in the same vein. Apply golden roll 10 times when refining forge cosmetic shards. So this one's a bit easier to accomplish just because it only costs 5 mod chips to roll for refining. I feel like this one's a little bit more comfortable, although I've been rolling and I haven't gotten a golden roll yet since this challenge has come out, so we'll just have to see. Craft 5 cosmetics, weapons, legendary or higher. This one is a doozy. This one's gonna be really hard to accomplish for a lot of people, especially like not everybody even has legendary space or forges, but you know, I've got an epic forge and a legendary forge, and I'm still not sure if I'm gonna be able to accomplish this in the 2 months. We'll just have to see what the crafting events are and if I'm able to like to bring up enough. You know, you need 3 epics of each item and you need 5, so it's going to be a challenging one. This one's a really tough one in my opinion as well. Complete the following armory cosmetic shard refines: 5 augmented terracore, 5 infused terracore, and 5 saturated terracore. This one gives you 35,000 leaderboard points. Not a bad chunk of points, but you know, refining saturated requires an exalted space and an exalted at least armory, so that's going to really limit who's going to be able to accomplish this. I think a lot of people are scrambling to try and figure out how to get this challenge completed. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but you could rent, buy, but doing that just for leaderboard seems a bit tricky, so this one's going to be a hard one to accomplish for a lot of people. And next up is craft 5 armor cosmetics of rarity epic or higher. This one gives you 100,000 leaderboard points, which is juicy. Crafting 5 epics is no small feat. I feel like I'm going to be able to accomplish this one. I've got a few armor pieces already kind of moving towards rare and epic and higher like that, so my goal is to champ this one out. Hopefully a lot of people are going to be able to make this one happen. It's a little bit more doable than even refining saturated shards in my opinion. So that's all of the leaderboard long seasonal challenges, guys. Moving on, January 26th we saw a refining crafting event happen. It ended on January 29th. This gave you double leaderboard points and you got 20% more output with the same cost. So if you did a long or a bulk refine of augmented, you got 90 instead of 75 and you got double leaderboard points. It was pretty nice. I got a lot of cosmetic shards, but I'm already out of lattice for some reason. I don't know how that happened. Next, this is the second week of weekly challenges. We have have the sort of low point challenge, which is to loot 100 raw shards. This will give you 1,000 leaderboard points. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but considering how little raw shards have been dropping these days, it's actually a pretty challenging feat. I'm not gonna lie, because you get probably about maybe 2 to 5 shards a dungeon. So you might have to end up running like about 50 dungeons to be able to accomplish this. The next thing, we got challenge 2. This one mirrors the seasonal challenge that I was just talking about, the shard crafting for the armory, but you only have to put out 1 augmented terracore, 1 infused terracore, and 1 saturated terracore. But once again, people are going to be kind of scrambling, trying to figure out how do we get this saturated crafted if they don't have an exalted space and an exalted or higher armory. This one gives you 7,000 leaderboard points, so it's pretty juicy. It kind of makes sense if you were smart, maybe like rent an exalted space, rent exalted armory, and be able to smash out this weekly challenge and the seasonal challenge all at once. That's what I want to do, but you know, not everybody has the liquidity to be able to do that. The last challenge on the weekly leaderboard, guys, is it mirrors once again a seasonal challenge, except for you only have to craft 1 common, 1 uncommon, and 1 rare hourglass. I've already got these sorted out for me, so definitely doable within the week's span if you got the time wardens for it. It gives you 5,000 leaderboard points, and this crafting event started January 29th and ends February 4th, so we still have 4 days to go on that. Once again, if you are already trying to complete this seasonal challenge where you need to craft 3 commons, 3 uncommons, and 3 rares, then this weekly challenge will be really easy for you. Next up is the first ever midweek madness. This one is kind of weird. I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but if you kind of look into it a little bit more, it kind of makes sense. So starting January 30th and ending February 1st, which is tomorrow, not a whole lot of time, but they have this weird thing going on where the following recipes now cost 0 big time, but cost double the cosmetic shards. The Executioner Axe from common to rare, and the Dominion Legs from common to rare. If you're crafting a common item, it typically costs you 25 augmented and 50 big time. 25 augmented requires 30 big time to refine. So 50 plus 30, that's 80 big time in total to craft a pair of common items or a common item. But now with this midweek madness crafting event, it only costs you 50 augmented to craft a common, which is 60 big time in total. So you're saving a total of 20 big time tokens when you're doing these crafts. It's kind of weird because you have to use your refined shards to do it, so there's like a time sink here. Overall, it does give you a bit of a bonus here. Now we're going to talk about the crazy thing that happened on the 29th, which was Monday. Big time / open loot had some technical difficulties where NFTs that people had bought or sold either disappeared from their account or reappeared in their account. I think it also was affecting people who are renting. So if you had recently bought a space and a time warden, for example, you might have gone into your metaverse and seen that they're missing, and the crafts that you had started obviously disappeared with them. This, with good reason, freaked a lot of people out. A lot of people were concerned about their assets. For me, for example, I don't pay attention to all the items that I have. I don't know how many hourglasses I have. I don't know how many spaces. I don't know all the workshops that I have, and I don't know all the things that I've crafted. So people were concerned that they were going to use items that either weren't theirs because they had already sold them or rented them out, or weren't theirs because they just like appeared in their account and they thought they were theirs, right? It was a huge deal. The Discord was a nightmare. If you look through the Discord, people are just panicking. They're calling for all sorts of compensation. They're freaking out. But Big Time did their best. It happened in the morning. They were on it instantly. They were working around the clock to make sure that it got sorted out. They took a bunch of actions to make sure it got resolved. The main takeaways are, if you got an item that wasn't yours and you sold it and you're gonna try and run away with a bag of money that's not yours, it's not gonna happen. That money is not gonna be there. Nobody's gonna be stealing your items. Nobody's gonna be stealing your money. And if you did try to make money from this glitch, you're not going to make money from this glitch. That's one of the main takeaways. If you bought something that disappeared, your items will be fully restored. And if you you, say it was a time warden or something, or a workshop, and you had a craft going, that will be restored to its state that it was before. And then if you had an item that didn't belong to you and you started a craft with it, all your materials are just going to be returned. It wasn't your item to begin with, so you just get your items, your initial materials back. Just now posted that they've pretty much completely resolved this issue. There's a couple people that they're working directly with. If you are affected by this, make sure you reach out to customer support to get this rectified, because they're diligently working on this. So everything's all good. You don't need to panic. Don't panic. We might as well just talk about this quickly. This just got posted today, several hours ago. The big time referral leaderboard is now live. I haven't even taken a look at this, but if you have referral codes, you should see yourself on there. There's not a whole lot of people, but if we look at the rewards, the top reward is 90,000 big time. The lowest reward is 15,000 big time. So if you do have the opportunity to refer people, then please, by all means, jump in there. So that's a new thing. Final thing that we're going to talk about, though, this one I did not expect, guys. So big time is going to be doing some Valentine's Day themed stuff this year. For me, I'm a Scrooge. I don't really like Valentine's Day, even when I was partnered and stuff like that. Like, especially now that I'm a bachelor and jaded. Valentine's Day, not my thing, but it's cool that they're doing this. Some people are all mushy, gushy, so it's good for them. What I'm excited about, though, is Valentine's Day crafting event, maybe. What are these items? Are they new cosmetics? Is this teddy bear the first pet that's going to be coming out? Is it some other sort of cosmetic you can equip? Same thing with this Valentine's Day thing. I don't know. Or are these breakables like the Christmas trees that we saw during the Christmas event? I'm probably guessing these are breakables, but it would be cool to see these being craftables. What we did see last seasonal event, right, was there was this crafting event. The feedback I got a lot of the Christmas event was it didn't really include all big time players. If you were just like a free-to-play player, or you didn't own a bunch of space and forges and have a bunch of big time, then Christmas event really didn't affect you at all. What are we going to expect for this Valentine's Day event? Is there going to be a crafting event? Is there going to be something that's a little bit more accessible to the wider audience of big time players? If it is a crafting event, though, it might be worthwhile trying to save up your big time and cosmetic shards for this event, because the last leaderboard, the Christmas crafting event, was a great way for you to be able to slingshot yourself all the way up to the top end of the leaderboard. If there is a crafting event again, it could be similar, crafting higher rarity items, double leaderboard points. This is something definitely to keep on your radar. That's it for this week's What's New Wednesday. A lot of new crafting events is the gist of it. Valentine's Day, definitely something to keep on your radar. If you guys are watching this in the future, make sure you guys throw down a subscription, a follow, like, comment, do all that stuff. Tell your mom. And yeah, I will be seeing you guys next week. Bye.